Welcome to Be Aware to Be Prepared. My name is Debbie Boyce. I'm your host of Be Aware to Be Prepared, brought to you by the Medical Reserve Corps, Non-Medical Reserve Corps of Vermont, of the United States. Who is the Medical Reserve Corps? What do we do? Do you need to be medical? No. I'm going to explain to you. As a result of 9/11, I came into existence because the government needed a way to find out and figure out if a person showed up not in uniform or in uniform, that they had an actual credential. In the back of our credential, just like the firemen, we have a stripe. This stripe tells everything that I know I can do in a safe manner for self to others. Vermont, now, if I move out of Vermont, the MRC training, non-medical, Medical Reserve Corps training, comes with me. It's all over the United States. Who and why are we? We teach skills to be proactive, not reactive. Yes, we are in a reactive state right now because we have a pandemic going on. Later on, our children are going to look back and they're going to say, just like our ancestors, oh my goodness, what did they do? What could have they done differently? That's why CDC is always changing their mind, because they're looking to do something better, state something better, and do it for the best of all. Of all, we're talking about people who depend on us, which are our little children, because they depend on adults to make the right decision. That even means making decisions about whether they become immunized, whether they wear a mask to school, whether schools have them wear masks as a prevention, not reactive. Then there's our ancestors, the older population. That older population is depending on us to check on them, to make sure that they have everything they need. We are in a state where it's cold right now. We are going into sub-zero temperatures. Yes, that means cold. That means things are going to freeze. Have you gone to your neighbors who are elderly and reminded them to turn on their faucet to trickle a little bit so their water pipes don't freeze? That's being proactive. Reactive is bringing in a heating source to heat up the pipes before they bust. Now, be prepared, because the older population might say, no, I don't want to waste my water, or water costs money per gallon. Explain to them, take time. Take time for the older and the younger to explain. Today, we're going to talk about winter, the colder months, and what effect does it have on us. We have a means to make ourselves comfortable. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money, but we have a means to keep ourselves comfortable. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to review some things. Yeah, I bet you're saying, oh, there she goes again. She's going to talk about water. Well, I just brought in a couple bottles of water. Containers. This is a container of water. It's cardboard. It bends, so I could collapse it. Okay? I don't want to throw it because it's not good for our environment. This is a bottle of water that is fruit flavored, so I don't have to flavor it. You're saying water, what's going on with water? How many people can remember how much water we all should drink? Think. If you said half your body weight in ounces, you are correct. I weigh 180 pounds. Whoa, that means I have to drink 90 ounces of fluid. I'm going to say fluid because you can get water fluid from a variety of sources. It might take a little bit more of coffee, but then you're going to get more caffeine. Or maybe you like to taste the coffee and you have decaf. That's cool too. That not only has an effect on keeping your body hydrated, but it keeps the brain going sharp, or in some cases, hyperactive. But I know you know the difference. Okay, why do we need to drink so much water? You're going to say, I have to get up and go pee every night when you tell me, Debbie, why are you telling me to drink so much water? Your body needs it to stay lubricated. If I'm going around and I just happen to not have my mask with me, and I go, I'm breathing in germs, dust, air, and if my throat is sticky, it's going to stick to it, and then it's going to grow, and it has a warm host. And that warm host will grow and go ahead and develop into something maybe worse. So if I drink, keep my spit, saliva, so it's flowing, then I will go ahead and be able to move it around, get rid of it better. Our nose acts as a filter because it has nasal hairs. That's why when you put a mask up, you cover the nose and the mouth. There's a lot of people walking around with it just over their mouth. Yeah, that's covering half the amount, the biggest area, unless you don't have any openings in your nose. Now, what did I just do that I should not have done? But I have, what's the other thing we talked about? Wash my hands. I wash my hands ad nauseum, means over and over and over again. Or I use hand sanitizer because these are the vehicle, not just breathing in, the vehicle to the germs entering our mouth, our nose, our eyes, and going into our system. And yeah, people, I'm going to continue to gross you out into your private area. That's the openings. Otherwise, your skin protects you. So protect your skin. But your skin is also a means of showing dehydration. Have you ever done the pinch test where you go ahead and pinch your skin and it stays into like a tent and it slowly opens up? Well, that means that your skin needs more hydration. Can you hydrate all at once? No. That's when you'll go to the bathroom a lot. You have to keep the water, the fluids coming in. When I say a source of fluid, you can get, and I bet you can think of more, I'm just going to name a few. Watermelon has lots of water. Any of the melons, if you eat your fruit, doubles you're getting your water, and you're also getting your fruits that you need. Very important. Remember the food groups? So you can get it through your melons. Even strawberries have a liquid to it. Think outside the box. Get creative. Now, I could be somewheres because my car could break down or go off the road, and there's a brook there. I don't know if the brook is safe. So I have in these little brown bottles, and these little brown bottles sort of look like nitroglycerin bottles because they're protected. These are little tablets that will, if it's dropped into a large container of the brook water, will purify it. Why purify it? Why not? Well, if you want to be able to clean your body out very quickly, there are some waters that are not good for your system. That's a whole nother show in itself. But we're not going to go over that. So, going to recap. Water, hand sanitizer, little bottles of hand sanitizer. I don't want to get that because, it's so expensive. But I get the big bottles and I fill up my family's little bottles. It's sort of like a little station on the counter, and they can fill it up. You can think of some other ideas. Now, talked about masks. This mask has a filter in it. It actually has this filter in it right here. And then it turns it into the equivalent of an N95. Yeah, I go ahead and buy them online. There was a time that I couldn't get them online. So what did I do? What filters your coffee? All right. Take a coffee filter, lay it flat, make your filter. For those who don't have a mask but have a neck warmer, you could put this right down here and you could breathe through your filter. It's a makeshift way. Get creative. You can do it. There are masks that look like this, but you don't need this because the key is whatever mask you use, you put it into a baggie or some kind of a container. Because if I take this mask and I just throw it onto a table and I don't know what's been on that table and I put it up to my mouth and I breathe, I'm breathing in what was on this table. Here's another pointer. Does a N95 need to be big and bulky? No. This right here is an N95. And when I open it up, it turns into, sort of looks like an N95. I mean, the bigger ones. But the difference is, and it has two rubber bands, the difference is it comes folded up. There are so many out there. But people, be safe. What was last month's show? You remember? C. C is for choice. It is your choice to be protected. It is your choice to protect others. It is your choice to protect your loved ones because it's the older population that has compromised conditions more so than the younger ones. There are young people who do also. Now, before we go around the table here and show different things, I'm going to show you this one thing that's a hot commodity right now. Because every doctor, when you go there and you're saying, oh, I don't feel good, it's hard to breathe, what's happening? And they say, well, how are you measuring your breathing? Well, I just know after I get done shoveling snow, I'm just out of breath. This is called a pulse oximeter. It measures my oxygen level and it measures my pulse rate. What people are being asked to do is to monitor themselves at home because hospitals cannot contain everybody. So if you see one of these around and it's at a decent price, grab it. Put it up somewhere safe. It does run on a battery. Batteries last a long time, but it'll be there when you need it. Don't wait until you need it because you've been to the doctors and they said, please, let's start monitoring your oxygen level. All right, we're gonna go. All right, so we're hydrated, gotta stay hydrated because as I'm going out and I am shoveling my snow, I need to be lubricated. And people, it doesn't mean when you're thirsty. You think because you're thirsty, you're dehydrated. It shows in many ways and before you get what they call cotton mouth. Now, the downside of anybody who wears these all the time, it's not as easy to grab your bottle of water or cup of water and drink. You need to set some time aside. So I'm out shoveling snow. Now, I need to shovel snow. Yes, I have a snowblower, but I first have to clean off the car. Clean off the car? Why? Because the car has to be able to be visible, and it is against the law to ride down the road with snow on your car. So, I am shorter than the average bear, and so I have a telescoping one, okay? What it does is it will actually change locations. Now, should you wait until the snowstorm to go find your snow brush? No. Be prepared, people. Be aware to be prepared. This also, then, well, maybe if I can't get it to work, it does telescope. Okay? So, we're supposed to clean off our roofs. Okay, we're cleaning off our roofs. I happened to be coming into work the other morning, and I said, oh my God, there's a snowstorm up ahead. But it's a snow squall. What's happening? Guess what they were using? A car dealership was using a leaf blower to blow all the snow off the cars. What a great idea. That was ingenious. It was just like a big wind. But they were prepared. They thought, they were aware of the problem, and they became prepared. Now, I'm out. I clean off the snow off my driveway, and underneath it is ice. Well, I also talked to you about four-legged critters. The four-legged critters, and we are the two-legged critters. In front of me is my jacket. It's a long jacket. It's a coat that if I really need it, I could use it as a blanket. But on top of it is the yellow, the dog coat. Just like we need to put a coat on, our four-legged friends need to put a coat on. to the other side, the white bucket right here, okay? This is what they call safe salt for Paws. It's safe for the your dogs, your cats. You don't want them licking the regular old-fashioned salt. So have that ahead of time. Don't wait for a storm. So we have over here, and as we're over here, if you can see, I have a variety of different gloves. Sometimes I'll wear a mitten, and then sometimes I'll wear a fingered glove, like the yellow ones. And underneath that pile of gloves is also a really big, heavy pair of socks. And then I make a choice to put something on my head. Because people, where do we lose our heat? Out our head. So we need to cover our head. Oh yes, it's gonna be bad. Oh, it's gonna mess up your hair. Oh my goodness, you can deal with it because you don't want your ears to become frostbit. You don't want it's one plus of the mask, it keeps your cheeks covered, but how about your nose? Walking around, I told you about these the other time. These are, in the olden version, they were like crampons. I'm going to turn it so you can see the spikes in it. These are okay to walk on linoleum. There are some that are not okay to walk on linoleum, like you don't wear your snowshoes inside. Here I'm going to put my shoe in, toes in here, and then I'm going to pull this up. This will prevent me from slipping and sliding on the ice as I clean off the car and I get prepared to go to work in a safe manner. These fold up. They go into, I usually carry them into a bag like this. And so they're always where I need them. Find your system. What system's going to work for you? What do you need? I'm going to go over to the other side, just behind the yellow coat, where my dog's coat is a safety blanket, a survival blanket. And there's some blinking lights there. When I go walking, I wear lights. When I'm in my car, I have that, so that should I break down, the plow is going to see me. Should you slide off the road, you want to leave your headlights on because people need to see you. Now, an awful lot I just talked about. Does your car have more than a quarter tank of gas in it? Do you remember in driver's ed how we talked about if your tank gets low, the condensation builds up, and then you get water in your gas because it just swishes around when you get going? Be prepared. Listen to the radio, listen to the TV, listen to your friends. Listen to everyone. If there's a winter watch, winter warning, be prepared. Have a full tank of gas so that when you go out, and if you do slide off the road, you're able to leave it running to stay warm. Should you leave it running with the windows up? No. You need to crack your windows, because otherwise You might not make it because of the muffler system is going to back up, and there's a poison that comes up through with the exhaust fumes. We want you to be prepared, and we want you to be able to deal with that. This little shovel travels in my car because I can go ahead and dig myself out if I need to. No, this is not the shovel that I shovel with in my house, because I use what they call an ergonomic shovel. So instead of it being straight, it's got a bend to it, so that when I bend over and I go to get a scoop of snow, I am not bending as far as the traditional snow shovel. I take breaks. Very important, people, take breaks. Pace yourself. Whether you're cleaning your car, whether you're snow shoveling, whatever you're doing, take breaks. Because the ticker inside of you, your heart, needs to have breaks every once in a while if it's not used to shoveling. Because you too might be asymptomatic and walking around with a virus. Notice I said virus, I didn't say COVID. Because the influenza can knock somebody down flat, just like the COVID. We talked about influenza year after year. COVID is just another form, a very bad form, but it's another form. Both the influenza, which you're supposed to be getting a flu shot, is also preventable, because if everyone washes their hands, keeps their hands out of their open areas going into their body, and so forth. So I'm seeing that as I am talking nonstop, which, yes, I kind of gathered that from some of you. That doesn't take much for Debbie not to do. Okay, my oxygen level is going from 98 to 99. That's awesome for me because I have asthma. That's awesome. My pulse rate is 91 because I'm talking da-da-da-da-da, and my body is revved because I want to cover so much in such short a period of time. Yeah, I know, we're running out of time. So, you find one of these on a shelf in a store, you're not shopping for it, please think about picking one up and putting it in your cabinet so you'll have it when the doctor says. I just looked over here. I always carry baggies of napkins. Why? Well, guess, have you ever been somewhere where you wish you had a napkin or something and you go to grab it and it's been all over the place? Again, I put these in baggies. I put the masks in baggies, put the filters in baggies. Bag it up. Baggie. No, that's not a plug for baggie. It's a form, whatever container that you want to do. If you have cat litter or sand in your car, last tidbit, secure it in your car. Make sure whatever you're carrying in your car, a snow brush, sand, cat litter, is secured. You do not want it to hit you in the back of the head when you're in an accident. Bye for now.